Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Cobra Kai Studio with your host, Daniel-san. And we're here for another fan questions video. And, well, we got quite a bit of comments to go through, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start off with Dominic's comment. I believe that either Crease will die or maybe Johnny's stepdad. Because one thing's for sure, somebody's going to die. That's true. The creators have stated this, so it has us on this, mind puzzler of who can we actually expect to die. Because there's a lot that people speculate. Now, Crease and Sid are the biggest that I see across the board, but I've also seen rarer occasions like Daniel's mom and really weird ones like Amanda. not so often, but I have seen people comment that on some people's videos, and I'm like, how do y'all see Amanda dying? Obviously, I don't think Amanda's going to be the one that dies. Me personally, on my vote for this is I'm pretty sure Sid's going to be one we see. Because I feel like with that, they could play that into the show in a lot of ways, allowing, Johnny to accept his inheritance if Sid is to leave it to him. Maybe even Robbie. But what's your vote? Who do you think we can possibly expect to die in Season 3? That's a huge debate that a lot of people are debating on because we know that there's supposed to be someone that dies. So the question is, who? And how many people are going to die? Obviously, they're going to have to wait till the show comes out to really know the answers to that. But at the same time, it's like, that's an exciting thing to think about. I really enjoy, coming up with some mind puzzlers of ideas that us fans have and just kind of debating them because we really don't know. But at the same time, it's always fun to kind of speculate. But let me know how you feel about that. Next question, or comment from Dominic. Imagine these characters, but hella buff. Like Hawk started doing some heavy extreme training and maybe gained a huge amount of muscle, as well as maybe Tori and a couple other casts. Now, I wouldn't say that, I don't know. That's a hard one to think. I don't think that would ever happen, but I could see them getting more buff as the show goes, because they're going to keep training, obviously, more hardcore. And yeah, that would be interesting if they did, though. Be Super Hawk. That would be funny to see, not going to lie. It would be interesting. On to another comment from Dominic. I think the reason why she started training again is because of Tori. Oh, about Sam, yeah. That's a big possibility. That's actually, I could see that. Honestly, I really could. Maybe she felt overpowered by Tori in a sense, and maybe she felt like she needed to kind of get back to her roots of training and such. So, I could see that for sure. What do you think, though? Why do you think Sam started training? Or training again, I should say, because she obviously already been trained before by Daniel. But anyways, on to the next question from Young Gun. What if after Johnny gets beat up by Daniel... Oh, okay, I see. I read that wrong. What if after Johnny gets beat up, Daniel takes him to Okinawa? Oh, okay, well... it could be possible. That could be where something that happens, like right after that little teaser that we see where, Daniel's explaining to him what you expect would happen. Maybe so. And maybe that little part is actually after, maybe, because some people do believe that possibly Daniel would bail Johnny out if that's the situation. Maybe that's after that happens. And maybe he could take him to Okinawa. It is possible. I wouldn't put it completely out of context to be not possible at all. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know. Now, there's a lot of things that's kind of pointing to reasons that Johnny could actually go to Okinawa with Daniel. And if so, it would be a lot of interesting. It would be interesting to see that play out in some kind of a way. Because I'm sure that there's a lot that these writers could actually add to that to make it blow our mind. So I wouldn't put it past them to do something along that lines in Season 3. And obviously there's not enough hints about it, but at the same time, there's not enough things that disprove it either. So I wouldn't put it past it to be a possibility, On to the next comment. And I doubt that Sam will have PTSD. Because one, that's a mental disorder due to extremely traumatic experiences. A fight wasn't that traumatic. And maybe Robbie will more than likely have PTSD because he's the one who hurt Miguel. So I doubt it will be Sam. That makes sense at the same time. But at the same time, some things can cause PTSD that you, as a normal person, wouldn't think to be so traumatic. So you can't rule it out for Sam because some people do get PTSD for things that you just wouldn't think they would. But for Miguel getting pushed over by Robbie, I could see Robbie having it for sure because he's going to obviously maybe have some kind of flashbacks, especially if he has remorse for what he did. If he really has remorse for what he did, I could honestly 100% see him having some kind of PTSD type symptoms. I wouldn't say exactly PTSD, but I could see him having some kind of symptoms like that, you know. Just my opinion, though. On to the next question from Juan. What will Miguel do, regardless his love situation when he wakes up? Will he stay with Tori or will he go back with Sam? Okay. Me personally, I would love if Miguel stayed with Tori. I just feel like they're a better match. But considering how things are going with Miguel and Sam kissing again, and obviously there's still feelings from Miguel to Sam, and obviously there's feelings from Sam to Miguel. People also speculate that Tori only got with Miguel to get back to get at Sam, basically. Maybe because of what happened at the party with her blaming her for stealing. I don't know, though. That's a hard one to really debate about. But at the same time, there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, hey, maybe Miguel doesn't want anything to do with either one of them. At least not right away, you know. I feel like he might have more of a reawakening to his own personality. And maybe have to really get in touch with himself, I guess you could say, before he decides what he wants to do moving forward as far as the relationship goes. But I don't know. Let me hear what you think about that. I want to know what your debate about this is. On to the next one. Could Miguel join Creases' Cobra Kai when he wakes up? He may also blame Johnny like the others for teaching him to show mercy and join Creases on. You know, that I wouldn't rule it out, Juan. I would not rule that out because you're right. You know, Johnny was teaching him to be different, better than him. But at the same time, Miguel showed mercy, and that mercy bit him in the ass, you know. He ends up getting very severely injured for showing mercy to Robbie. Now, the other way this could go is that he just feels like maybe next time he should have a different outlook about how things go, and maybe he just won't strike first. And I don't know. That's a hard one to really answer, you know. Obviously, I could see Miguel being like, you know, upset with Johnny, but I don't think he'd be upset to the point that he'd join Crease. I really don't. I don't think that he would be that upset that he's going to join Crease. It's just my opinion. I feel like he's still going to be loyal to Johnny. Even if it's not at first. Obviously, he's going to might have some kind of remorse against, you know, Johnny at first. But at the same time, I don't think he will go join Crease. What do you think? Do you feel like, you know, Miguel might join Crease in Cobra Kai? You think he's going to stay Cobra Kai with Crease running it? What do you think? I mean, him and Hawk are friends, so I don't know. But then again, Hawk and Dimitri were friends at the beginning, too, and now they're not. So it's like, I don't know. Next question from Aaron. Do you think that Miguel will ask Tori why she kicked him? Yeah, I could see that coming up maybe as a little bit of a question. Obviously, you know, you can kind of tell it wasn't meant to happen as far as Tori's mindset. She was just in the heat of the moment, and she'd have kicked anybody, I feel like, if they would have been in the way, you know, and tried to stop her from fighting. So I felt like she didn't really mean to do that. It's just something that happened, and it played out the way it did. On to the next one. What if Daniel gets a letter from Chosen, like Miyagi did in Karate Kid 2, which causes him to go to Okinawa, and the letter is about Miyagi's secret? That's an interesting one. I could see that being a reason to why we see Daniel go to Okinawa. Maybe, you know, that might be an actual possibility, young gun. I wouldn't rule that one out at all. I didn't really think about it like that, but, you know, it's possible, you know, it really is. Because, you're right, it did happen in the Karate Kid 2, and they do go to Okinawa, so maybe so. Maybe Daniel's like, well, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what he's talking about, so I need to go see. So, yeah, maybe. That actually might be a possibility to why we see them go to Okinawa. All right, Aaron, what if Miguel can't remember what happened in the school fight? You know, that's possible. He could. It depends on the severity of his injuries. What if he doesn't? What if he has no, like, memory and recollection of what actually happened to him? He just knows that he got hurt. Maybe he only remembers the beginning of the fight, but don't actually remember who kicked him over. Maybe he doesn't know exactly what happened. I mean, depending on the amount of actually damage he sustained during the injury from the fall, maybe he might have some kind of, you know, what would you call it? I can't think of the word right now. But anyways, maybe for some reason he just doesn't recall all of the fight or any of it, or maybe he recalls bits and pieces, but it's not all fully there yet, and might come back to him as he, you know, actually gets back to being Miguel, you know. But that, I wouldn't put that past him, you know. On to the next one from Young Gun. What if Chosen is nice and training Daniel is because he didn't help Daniel in the storm? Maybe. I mean, we don't know where Chosen's went. Obviously, we are still learning where Daniel and Johnny's went and how they become since, you know, the Karate Kid movies ended. So I can't say that Chosen won't be in some way, but at the same time, the way he was in the movies is just like, I don't know if that's something we could expect moving forward. It's just my opinion. I think Chosen's still going to be kind of similar to how he was in the movies, but a lot of people are speculating and kind of coming up with these really interesting ideas that he won't be. So, what do you think? How do you think Chosen's going to be in the seasons, if he's, for sure going to get some kind of roles in it, and we're going to see him a little bit more than we expected, Or you think we're just going to be a quick little scene with him? But feel free to let me know how you feel about the whole Chosen situation. On to the next answer from PG from my last video. My guesses of who will die: Sid number 1, Crease number 2, and Miguel number 3. But only Miguel for a minute or so, like say they bring him back or something. But it could also just be Sato's funeral, because the actor is already dead. I'm sure Robbie will meet his old gang in jail. Yeah, I think that too. I feel like that's something we will see. I don't know why, but I just have this speculation that there'll be some kind of run-in with at least somebody he knows in jail or something, and I feel like it would be the old gang he used to run with. It would make sense in my opinion. Just, that's just how I feel. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. On to the next comment from Roy. Cobra Kai also comes from Miyagi. That's the Miyagi secret. It's the aggressive, hard style of Miyagi-Do, while Miyagi showed Daniel the soft, defensive style, balance, everything has balance, etc. Maybe Daniel's style has a circular, softer style, blocks, defensive, orientated. Cobra Kai has linear blocks and is an aggressive oriented type of style. That being said, before I finish reading, there's no way to really disprove that, it's possible, especially with the whole, the whole who all trained who, and who Sato might have trained, etc. That's, going around the internet right now. I would say that's a real big possibility, but I don't know, what do you think about that? Now to finish your comment, they balance each other out, and Miyagi has been preaching balance this whole time. I don't think Jack Pierce was Miyagi's only student in the military. I think the military had Miyagi teach at the end of the war. There's no evidence, but he was discharged immediately, and with this, they probably saw fit that he stay on for a bit and teach a combat-oriented fighting system to soldiers. But he saw it, misused it, and abused it, so he stopped teaching that aggressive style of martial arts, and he knew that a defensive, softer style was the best counter to styles like Cobra Kai. That becomes ubiquitous after World War II. But his more aggressive, hard system was incorporated into the military and became later Cobra Kai, and many of the other karate styles spread into, the dojos across America after the war. Sato also taught that part of the Miyagi-Do to the military after the war, like many Korean arts have Okinawa karate added to them during the Miyagi era of the 1920s, 1950s. Terry and Creases master Kim Sung-young could have learned from Miyagi or Sato after the war. Many World War II soldiers were in Korea after the war or fought again in Korea. Daniel and Johnny are going to learn. They are martial art brothers, basically, to say. I love that comment. I really enjoy that comment, Roy. And it makes a lot of sense in a way because, yeah, I could honestly see that being a possibility in some kind of a way. And that would be mind-shocking to Daniel and Johnny if to learn that both their styles of martial arts actually came from the same person, That would be a hell of a plot twist if they were to write something along that lines into the show. Now, I'm not to say that they will for sure, but I like that idea in theory. That would be a hell of a theory to see play out. On to the next question. How do you think talking about Miyagi. How do you think Miguel's dad will play into Season 3? I think with the whole... Now, I don't think, if anything, I don't think we'll see him very much. Just my kind of speculation on him. I feel like, though, with, Miguel being injured like he was, I feel like his mom, Carmen, is going to reach out to his dad in some way to at least let him know if Miguel's dad's even still alive. Like, we don't know enough about Miguel's dad to even know if he's alive or what may be the case with him. So, I don't know exactly on that one. But that would be my theory, is that we might see him in some bit. If we're going to see him at all, I feel like this season's going to be the season to see him because of his son being injured. So... that's just my opinion. I feel like that would be a reason to bring him back, What if Daniel takes Johnny to Okinawa and Johnny tries to break the ice, or Daniel tries to break the ice but can't? Then when he finds the balance, he breaks the ice. Ooh, that would be interesting. A lot of people really think that Daniel and Johnny's going to go to Okinawa. It's got me even thinking more that maybe that's a possibility that we might see. Maybe there is something about that we could see in the future going forward into Season 3, What do you think? Do you think we're going to see them both go to Okinawa? That's going to be interesting. I know they only show Daniel in that little, teaser at the end of Netflix's trailer for when they were adding season 1 and season 2. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that there's not a bigger motive behind the whole Okinawa trip that we just haven't seen play out yet and we won't until season 3 is actually here. Really nice, though. On to the next question from Juan. Do you think Robbie will turn himself in? That could be a possibility as why he may feel guilty, and we know he could never get caught if he wanted. He is a con master after all. Yeah, I could see the remorse in Robbie's face just from when he kicked him over. Now, it's not to say that remorse would stay there the whole time. Some people would obviously be debating going to jail, obviously. But, with the trainings that Robbie's accepted, maybe he will, It would technically be the right thing to do for him to turn himself in. So, I wouldn't put it past him, Juan. I really wouldn't. I would say that I would give that like a 50-50 possibility of playing out that way, though. Just because there's so many other things that the creators and writers of the show might want to do with that we just didn't expect, or maybe we did. Maybe we talked about it already and we just didn't know it, So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this plays out moving forward. It's going to be a lot of speculation on our part until we get season 3, but at the same time, day by day going, we're getting closer to season 3, We're literally approaching it faster and faster as the days go by, so it's really interesting. On to the next question from Young Gun. What if Daniel is responsible for Creases' death if he's the one that dies? I'm curious how Daniel could be responsible for it, though. That's got me thinking now. I'm like, how the hell could he be responsible for it, though? I guess there could be a couple reasons. I mean, maybe it's an accidental responsible for him being dead if he's to die. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? I want to know your opinions. I can't really think of a good answer for this one. So feel free to comment in the video if you're watching to maybe help answer Young Gun's question, because I don't know. That one's a hard one to really think about and kind of have an answer on. So definitely, if you have any theories on that, please leave some comments, On to the next one from Aaron. Will Tori learn that Miguel woke up? Yeah, I'm assuming. Now, maybe not right away, but I feel like there's gonna be some kind of situation where she's gonna figure out that he obviously woke up. Now, how that's gonna play out into the show will be interesting, because obviously there could be a few different ways for them to actually take that. But what do you think? How do you think Tori might find out if Miguel woke up? Or do you think she will at all? I mean, I'm sure that she will. On to the next one from Young Gun. What if Hawk is fighting Robbie in that scene? Okay, I wouldn't put it past it, but at the same time, that would have to possibly be after Robbie gets out of jail, then I would say, or something, though, because Robbie didn't look beat up when he went to the jail, He didn't look all beat up like he would have gotten to the fight with Robbie. That's the only reason I haven't speculated Hawk and Robbie being the ones that fight, and that's why, Hawk's all bloodied up. That's just really one of the only reasons I don't think that's the case, But maybe it is. I mean, maybe this is something that maybe that Hawk scene actually takes place later in the season, and then it could actually make sense, Will Miguel have memory loss? That's an interesting question, Aaron, and as well as will Miguel walk again? I'm going to assume that he's going to eventually walk again, but I feel like we're going to see a journey of Miguel having to relearn to do things. Now, I'm sure he's going to have memory loss. We kind of talked about that earlier. I just feel like that could be a huge possibility to see it play out into the season 3. But then again, maybe he won't. He wasn't... I don't know. That's a hard one. It really depends on how his head might have been injured, because obviously his face was all swollen and it looked like his head might have been injured in some kind of a way. But maybe it's really more towards his back and legs and such that actually got injured. So that one's a hard one to really debate on. But at the same time, I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see some interesting things play out moving forward into the season 3. And that might be something that they included into the season 3. I wouldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't bullet past them in any kind of a way. I mean, I could honestly see it happening. What if Miguel tells Tori that if she didn't start the school fight, that he wouldn't have been injured and put into the hospital? Now, obviously, us as fans, we blame Tori for sure, because she kind of instigated and started it by the whole strike first thing. But I don't see Miguel being like that. Now, he could change after this whole situation. He might be a different person in a sense. So maybe, what do you think? Do you think Miguel's going to be that type of person? Me personally, I don't see him doing that at all. I just really don't. I don't think that that's something that we will see in season 3. I feel like Miguel wouldn't blame Tori for saying, but I could see him blaming Robbie because Robbie did it to him. He might even blame Sam. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't see Miguel doing that, but at the same time, like I said, he could change in season 3, and he might. He really might. Another question from Young Gun. How will Johnny get in contact with Allie? Now, don't forget, Johnny did have a laptop, and we don't know exactly where that laptop's at. I mean, yeah, there's a huge amount of speculation that it was left at the dojo, but let's say it's not. Let's say it's at home, and maybe he's sitting there drinking, and I don't know. I could see him getting in touch with her through maybe checking his laptop. But that's just my speculation how that might play out. Now, Johnny might just get another phone, and I don't know. What do you think? If you think that Johnny and Allie are going to connect again in some kind of way or reach out to each other, how do you think that's going to play out, It's interesting to think about, and it's a fun debate about, because there's a lot of people that don't even think Allie's going to actually take any kind of role in season 3, and then there's a lot of people like myself that feel like she's going to play some kind of role. They wouldn't have left that teaser for no reason. They wouldn't have. On to the next question from Young Gun. Everyone says 3 people will die, but they always assume that it's going to be an adult that dies. What if one of the person at least, that dies is a kid? Not per se Miguel, but maybe the person Hawk's beating up or something like that. That's true. A lot of people do assume that whoever's going to die is going to be someone older. It's not always the case, though, in real life. It could really be one of the younger students. It really could, and I wouldn't put it past the writers to throw a curveball like that at us, Now, I wouldn't say 100% that that's going to be the case, but at the same time, I wouldn't rule that out. I would keep that open mind to that for sure, because that could be the curveball that we see coming, or don't see coming, I should say, better to say. On to the next one. Will Daniel take Sam to Okinawa to get her away from Tori and what happened with Miguel? Yeah, Aaron, I could see that actually being one of the reasons to take Sam to Okinawa, just to kind of maybe help her clear her head, maybe help her, get away from all the drama and all the stuff that's going on in her town. But then again, I don't know that Amanda would allow Sam to go with her dad to Okinawa, especially considering it's probably going to be martial arts related, and Amanda's whole, how Amanda feels about the whole Miyagi Did at the end of season 2. So I don't think she would allow it. So that's going to be interesting if so. What if Tori kisses Robbie to make Miguel jealous? I don't know. I don't see Tori having any interest in Robbie, honestly, in my opinion. I don't. But then again, a lot of you fans kind of think that they might have something, and it's just like, I don't know. Unless, the only way that would be is if she really didn't have no feelings for Miguel, and it was literally just to make Sam jealous. But I don't think that's the case. I feel like there's some kind of an emotional attachment between Tori and Miguel, and I feel like they did actually like each other. So I don't see it playing out like that in any way. Not to say that it won't, but I just don't think that would be the case. And if it did, I'm sure that Miguel is going to be really pissed off. Wouldn't you, Miguel? On to the last question. Who is going to get Robbie out of jail? If say that plays out, that's going to be really interesting, because if that happens, and they have a lot of pull behind the scenes, obviously. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case, but at the same time, I don't see them keeping Robbie in jail for the whole season either, so, But that scene with Robbie could be towards the end of season 3, though. This teaser that we got from the writers and, from Netflix and them, and got, just posted recently, doesn't mean that all of those clips are from, like episode 1. Those could all be mixed up throughout the season. But I kind of feel like they are from episode 1. I said season 1. I mean episode 1, sorry. I feel like they could be from episode 1 or the earlier episodes. So I feel like a lot of that is something from episode 1. I feel like they're trying to leave most of the majority of stuff, for us to just wait and see when it comes out, or actually be put into the official trailer when it's released. But that's just my opinion. I really liked the collab Bonsai Kai Dojo did with Cobra Kai fandom, as well as with Team Rubikava. Now, that was a really badass collab that they did, and it makes a lot of sense. I do honestly believe that what we see in that little teaser could definitely be played out in episode 1, It would make sense to kind of only tease so much with that teaser, and it would be brilliant if that's all packed in episode 1, So basically that could be the actual breakdown that we see that they collabed on and did play out in episode 1. And if that's the case, man, we got a lot that's going to happen in season 3 that we're just not ready for. And it makes me excited, you know. I'm sure you're all excited as well to actually see what we've been waiting to see for a long time now. So I'm hoping that come the end of season 3 that they leave. I know you might not feel the same, but I hope that they leave us on a super crazy ass cliffhanger again that, you know, keeps everybody interested into the show, you know, and keeps everybody waiting for more and wanting more. I feel like these cliffhangers are much needed, so I'm sure they will, in some kind of way, leave us on a huge cliffhanger again. You know, the writer of the show have commented already on their Twitters and stuff, stating that we're not going to expect the cliffhanger that, or, you know, the exciting last, like, 2 minutes of episode 10 of season 3, and it's going to blow our minds. So when you put that into perspective, it's like, what all exactly was they meaning? What really do we have to look forward to? And, you know, all we can do is sit here and wait until January 8th, you know? Obviously, as soon as that as soon as the season's actually ready to be put out, you know, as soon as they actually officially release it on Netflix, I'm going to be watching it right away. I'm, you know, even if I have to stay up really late until they actually add it to the Netflix, you know, viewing program where we can actually view it, I want to do so, because I want to watch it. I want to get all the episodes watched, maybe even twice if I can in that same time period, and then I'm going to start making some videos on it, because, I mean, yeah, who the hell don't want to have a hell of a time debating the new season, you know? Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure every one of us that are Cobra Kai YouTube channels are going to be making insane amount of videos as soon as season 3 comes out. There's going to be so much more new stuff to talk about that, you know, why wouldn't we? But that's going to be it for this video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. And if you didn't, you know, hey, maybe this isn't your cup of tea. But at the same time, these are my favorite videos to make, so they're always going to get made regardless of the situation. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it is. If you enjoyed, maybe think about smashing that like button and, you know, subscribing for more. But I want to say thank you to Bonsai Kai Dojo. Thank you to all of you that are following me. Thank you to the moderators that are always attending the premieres when these are, you know, premiering at night. And most of the time they're really late, so I appreciate the dedication to that, because not everybody stays up late all the time. But as always, don't forget, everyone, stay badass. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, everyone.